Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndodi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date 10th March 2026. Venue, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time, 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade, 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
Good morning and welcome to Atlantic Blowout. Atlantic Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events and stories through correspondent report, expert opinion and stakeholders analysis. And today on Atlantic Blowout we'll be looking at Adamawa State, residents flee as terrorists attack governor's hometown. And also on insecurity, federal government breaks silence over ransom payment claims. And down to religious persecution, federal government rebuilds U.S. Congress reports suggest deeper engagement. And also on security, Tinubu accepts Egbetokun's resignation, names Disu acting IGP. And down to medical tourism as federal government slammed as surge hits $550 million annually. And also RFI lawyers file motion to strike out DSS case. And don't forget, we approve a sponsor advert placement, bookings and commercials. You can connect with us now. 8 and social, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. You can watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. And we'll go on a short break. When we return, I'll introduce my guests on the show and we'll dive right into our stories. Just stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on today's episode of 18 Blowout is Mr. Uchenna Wokbe, a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining me. Move to story. Residents of Kichinga and Sheweri villages in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State fled their homes following an attack by some Boko Haram terrorists. It was gathered that the terrorists attacked the villages and launched a brutal offensive that left security agencies and their operatives struggling to contain the violence. According to residents, the terrorists invaded Kichinga, the hometown of the Adamawa State Governor Amadou Fintiri and Sheweri in the early hours of Monday. Armed to the teeth, the terrorists were said to have set buildings and other properties ablaze, while residents who were in a panic mode fled into the bush for their safety. Sources within Sheweri said the village was still engulfed in flames while several members of the community were killed during the attack. We've seen the repeated recourse of these insecurity menace. I would love to get your thoughts. There was once a report that the terrorists actually threatened the community that they were coming if they don't pay such an amount, and then irrespective of the security measures that were in place, the residents fled for their life and safety. Do you think we've gotten to that point where terrorists now decide when and how they want to?
Well, good morning. Thank you, for wanting me to share my thoughts on this. The Nigerian government generally have been doing their best to, caution these insecurity cases. The case of Adamawa is very unfortunate, but then I don't think we have gotten to that point where it is, insurgents that will decide for government. Whether I would like it or not, governments still have capacity to do away with these people, and they're actually doing their best so far.
There was a time when these terrorists, I believe during the era of Boko Haram, we don't get to see their faces. They wrap themselves for identity, but this currently, we get to see them flaunt their tools, flaunt their proceeds from maybe kidnappings or one of them, and it seems like it's a message to the government that we own the city and you can't do anything about it.
Yes, we will not remove the fact that that we will not deny the fact that some part of the government of the day will always be part of sponsoring these, insurgents to disrupt the activities of the government of the day. However, you will also agree with me that government of the day have always made efforts, even if yes, there is direct attack from these insurgents where they expose themselves, they are not afraid again, but nobody can be bigger than the government, to the best of my knowledge. So the government will always do their best, and that in confronting these people, there are factors government considers too.
Okay.
Government considers certain factors, especially, in attacking these people sometimes. If you don't, if you are not careful about it, you will end up, endangering the life of innocent citizens. So there are things government consider too in attacking these people, and the government, what I'm saying, have a procedure of confronting this situation,
irrespective of the threatening state of insecurity to the city, the life of the city. You're still insisting on procedures.
Yes, the government is a process.
It's been said that desperate times call for measure, and we have a story where terrorists threaten the community. They to the extent of imposing ransoms on this community. We've had situations where terrorists alerted the community that they were coming, and there were security forces in place, irrespective of that. When they are back coming to carry out these attacks, these security forces are withdrawn. So, it seems like they are overpowered by it. It's based on the sophisticated weapons they carry, and you see insisting on procedures.
Well, I don't know if you can mention any case where you've seen these people coming and these security agencies.
The kidnapping in Niger State, the Catholic Church in Niger State, it was said that prior to their coming, the security personnel there were withdrawn.
Wow. Well, while I agree with you, yes, that it's unfortunate anyway, that we need to do more to actually equip our security agencies, to mobilize them and fund them and capacity to confront these people. But what I'm saying is that you do that completely. The government is shying away from her responsibility of engaging these people. You understand?
You mentioned about funding. The 2026 budget or the budget, security always have a huge amount of money allotted to it.
Okay.
But the result is not equivalent to the amount that was allotted to it.
True, there will always be bad eggs in the system.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
There will always be bad eggs in the system. But you cannot, because of the few bad eggs, and rule out the fact that government is making an effort.
Making an effort, or making an effort that is adequate to addressing the issue. It's okay. It's one thing to be working, and it's another thing to be working to provide solution to a problem. Okay. Because you wouldn't just beat around the bush and say you're working. The evidence is that we are seeing the results.
Okay.
Are you saying that the government has done enough, or is doing enough in quote to the level of insecurity that prior to you as an electorate have evidence to come out to cast a vote in this spate of events that are taking place?
Well, I will say that government is doing her best.
Okay.
To resolve these situations. And talking about the election, it is our responsibility to ensure we have a good government. So, as a responsible citizen, I will always do my best to cast my vote for my preferred candidate.
All right. I would love to thank you for your opinion on that story. Move on to our next story. As federal government has responded to a media report attributed to international wire agencies alleging that Nigeria paid a huge ransom and released militant commanders to secure the freedom of school children abducted from St. Mary's Boarding School in Niger State. In a statement issued by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, the government described the claims as entirely false and unfounded, saying they undermine the professionalism of the country's security forces and the sacrifices they make daily. According to the minister, the Office of the National Security Advisor under the Department of State Services, DSS, and the leadership of the National Assembly have all publicly refuted claims of ransom payment. This is payment, like I just mentioned about the Niger State kidnappings, and yesterday this story broke out and we had the allegations of people saying that federal government had to pay and also release a militant commander, a bandit commander, before these students and teachers were released. And we've gotten to a point where when such information comes out, it is first dismissed as unfounded. Or like the coup attempt or once when it came out, it was dismissed as unfounded, but afterwards we found out that we were surprised to see that the STAR statement had much to it. And then the government breaking silence over ransom payment claims. Let me get your thoughts on the story.
Well, personally, I don't like making assumptions. Now, the man who is saddled with the responsibility of speaking on behalf of the federal government, being the Minister for Information, Mohammed Idris, have told Nigerians that news, that accusation is false and is unfounded. You understand? Okay. That's my position about it. And I don't know, it doesn't make sense anymore. Federal government will pay ransom to kidnappers. So, people know how to, they know how to, especially this before, and they're looking for every way to be in government. So they know how to bring up all sorts of story just to, put downplay on the efforts the government of the day is making towards these things. You understand? So I don't like assumptions. Personally, I don't like, assumptions.
So your opinion as such is an assumption?
It's an assumption, and I take the facts, and the fact what the man who is the Minister for Information have said, that information is fake, is false, is unfounded, and he has assured us that there's no way government will negotiate with kidnappers.
Okay.
You think about it, negotiating with kidnappers is just just like you're giving them more moral.
Let me point you to the fact that one religious leader, I've forgotten, Sheikh Gumi, he once said that these bandits are people like you. people like us. Instead of exacting force on them, we can actually or grant them amnesty. Now,
Sheguni, you mentioned.
Yes. So, with such a background statement, he's a figure. He commands some level of followership. Right? So, if someone like that makes a statement, having been close to the government, and then link it to the statement, that using there could be no line of synergy.
You know, there are institutions. You understand? The Minister for Information is representing an institution, his ministry, and he speaks on behalf of that institution. That's why I take that for fact. If Mohammed Idris is not the minister, I can easily take his statement as personal opinions, and that's what I would talk about. What you're saying about the one that you mentioned now. You understand? Those are his personal opinions, and for me, they shouldn't be taken seriously. You know. Okay, let me not completely say that those opinions should not be taken seriously, as much as they could be considered, because they are his opinions. From what he said, that these people are human beings like us, we should consider softer measures, right? Dealing with them, you know. Opinion, consider it, but then the man in charge is telling you that we are not doing that yet, and we have not done that, because there's a direct accusation that government is. I've told you, the Minister for Information, Mohammed Idris, have told you that government have not paid any ransom, and it's not paying any ransom. So making reference to this other man now, who is saying that because these people are human beings like us, they should be considered, you know, I don't see it, you understand, fitting in here, because that's his personal opinion, which, anyway, if government wants, can be considered, but may not be taken.
All right. Well, thank you for your opinion. I will go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue the rest of our stories. So do stay tuned.
Thank you.
Welcome back and thank you for joining me and staying with us. This is still ATN Blowout, and now we'll move on to the rest of our stories. Federal government has responded to a joint report by two United States House committees on alleged Christian persecution in Nigeria, describing the development as an and broader cooperation between both countries. In a statement issued by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, the government said it had taken note of the recommendations submitted on Monday to the White House by the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Appropriations Committee, while acknowledging that parts of the country continue to grapple with serious security challenges, including terrorism, banditry, and communal clashes. The federal government stressed that the violence confronted in Nigeria is not rooted in state policy or religious bias. The government expressed deep concern over the loss of lives and destruction of property caused by criminal elements, extending sympathies to victims and their families regardless of faith, ethnicity, or region. Reaffirming Nigeria's constitutional commitment to religious freedom, the government noted that the constitution guarantees freedom of religion and worship for all citizens and assures equal protection under the law. This is the second time that the U.S. government is actually X-raying into the insecurity and also and there are less persecution of Christians in this country, in Nigeria. I'd love to get your thoughts on this current development.
Well, while globally we appreciate. Okay, well, we appreciate the position of the U.S. in watching the world, policing the world to ensure for everybody badly. Like you mentioned, this is their second time talking about the
alleged persecution
of Christians.
And insecurity.
Yeah, why we appreciate that, it doesn't still make sense to me, when we know the position of the nation about freedom of religious worship. It doesn't still make sense to me alleging that this is as a result of policy, Nigerian policy to people about their religion. The position of the Constitution is very clear when it comes to, I think, the section of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution is very clear when it comes to freedom of worship. So, saying that these things are policy, that Nigeria have a policy that mandates or prevents other people from expressing their religious thoughts. For me, I don't see any sense in it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Irrespective of the fact that I know there has been different beyond religious line, but we found out that it seems that it's on one side. So I see insisting that the spate of violence that has taken place is not enough reason to allege that okay, there could be, not necessarily there is.
It seems it's on one side, yes, but it doesn't seem it is on a particular group of religious. There are some parts of the country have a heavy presence of and attack by insurgents, like the northern part of the country. And whether you like it or not, we have more of Muslims there. You understand? But it doesn't. It's not clear that this attack, that when these attacks happen, whether the government has been doing her best, they can check in the government. Then he has always done his best to see how he can use this insecurity situation.
I'm talking about saying that does not have the ability or the apparatus to effectively curb insecurity. Yeah, but before
even in the about the US that have a contact, report, is insecurity out of US completely. I don't know of the US.
There could be.
It's not there could be.
Okay.
You understand? Are there no cases of rape? You understand? cases like that. It's not that government, put a huge side, do her best, and that president his best. See how to reduce practical time the under the leadership is engaging with especially the UN to see that enough to say that this is on the part of the group. Say no, I don't know, but no, if you have about policy here, you're talking about that it's a law. Okay. You understand? When it comes to that people begin to pay attention to the narrative. You understand that property man is making things happen. You understand? To see that to the and if it doesn't mean good, he wouldn't extend and see how he can collaborate with countries like the US to see how we can come. We are aware.
Sorry, go on.
Okay.
The collaboration came in when it seems like there was a threat from the US on invading the country to actually take effective control of the security process.
Nigeria is, whether you like it, Nigeria is a sovereign state, and if they have the interest of the ordinary citizen at heart, maybe his approach would have been different. And you know what I mean? You understand? Okay. There was a threat, there was a threat that we are a sovereign state and we can take it. And the other places would have collaborated with. Remember that as at that time too, Russia was interested, and China is there too to collaborate.
Suggest deeper engagement instead of outright overtaking of the insecurity from the U.S. government.
That is what it should be. You understand?
Okay.
That's what it should be. We should see how we can engage with different countries, with other state actors, to see how we can, how we can really pursue this insecurity thing. You understand? Instead of, I don't know, saying, you look at it now, because the statement is clear. Okay. Making it look like as if there is a policy, there is a law somewhere. You understand? Which is not true.
All right. I think thank you for your opinion on that story.
Okay.
We keep our fingers crossed to see what comes out of this deeper engagement with the U.S.
Okay.
Thank you. Move on to the next story. President Bola Tinubu has accepted the resignation of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetekun, following the submission of his letter citing pressing family considerations. This was disclosed by a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. According to the statement, Mr. President received Mr. Egbetekun's resignation earlier Tuesday and expressed his profound appreciation for his decades of distinguished service to the Nigeria Police Force and the nation. The President acknowledged his dedication, professionalism, and steadfast commitment to strengthening internal security architecture during his tenure. Appointed in June 2023, Egbetekun was serving a 4-year term scheduled to conclude in June 2027, in line with the amended provisions of the Police Act. In view of the current security challenges confronting the nation and acting in accordance with extant laws and legal guidance, President Tinubu has approved the appointment of Assistant Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu to serve as Acting Inspector General of Police with immediate effect. Yesterday we found out that we learned that the IGP Egbetekun was the story had it that Tinubu appoints Tunji Disu. Okay. Tunji Disu, and this morning we're having that he resigned. So now let me.
Who resigned?
Egbetekun resigned. He wasn't removed.
Yeah, he wasn't sacked.
He was sacked, yeah, and he family. Maybe corroborate from he was removed. So he submitted his resignation letter.
How would you collaborate it?
Corroborate this statement? No, because it seems like we don't know if he was removed or he actually resigned on health.
You consider the sources of the statements.
Okay.
You understand? Like I told you, I don't base on assumptions. You understand?
Okay.
If one source, is saying that he was sacked, where is that coming from? Where is that story from? Rumors, or probably political opponents. You understand? Who to see can to see how they can get sympathy from the because they got.
Okay.
Understand? Another confirmation is from the right channel that he resigned. Has man said he was sacked? He hasn't said he was sacked. He resigned, and the news is that President Tinubu have accepted his resignation.
His resignation coming now should have been taking place earlier on, based on the fact that he was way beyond the resignation timeline or the age for resignation. Do you think this resignation coming now is ill-timed?
No, I don't think it's ill-timed. He mentioned the reason for his resignation. He was clear about it. You mentioned his age, Abi, that his resignation would have come before now. This is a service to the country, and it is his country. And the man, I think the man should be applauded for the service he has rendered to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to the people of Nigeria. Instead of to be put in all this whole kind of discussion for some person's selfish interest.
Are we to expect a fresh breath of air with the new leadership that is about to take place?
Well, looking at the car of the man, the Disu, Tunji Disu, he has grown through the ranks of police, having served as the DPO in some states like Ogun State, I think Ondo too, and the rest of them. And I think the last position was as a commissioner in Abuja, FCT, right? And before he left to Abuja, he was in Rivers State here as a commissioner. I think sometime around 20, we know he was leading the in Lagos State. And if you look at his activities in all of these areas of responsibility, he performed excellently well. It's on record that when he was leading the RROS, the Rapid Response in Lagos State, he tried to keep that brought home among his own officers. Okay. We learned he named his officers, the nice guys, which connected with their character, their gentleman character, where they will say that that police officers are helping people who are being attacked by criminals on the road, motorists who are involved in accident, and these are stories that are uncommon among police officers. But Tunji's officers are involved in these kind of things, and that should tell you that he trained officers who had peculiar character. Striking story of him I know about during the COVID year in 2020, and that took a woman to the hospital during the COVID year, sure that the woman delivers safely. So looking at all of these things about Tunji's character, I think that him taking over the leadership of the police force this time is a win for Nigerians. He was not too long in Rivers State. I think 2023, whether November, he came to Rivers State as a commissioner, and he did very well too. Highlight of his, efforts here, curbing insecurity here. We are aware of the apprehension of what's his name in Ahoda East, popularly known as Tubaba. It was under his leadership, right? So looking at all of these things, and he has been engaged to. I think sometime was it when he was leading the RROS in Lagos State? Was it when he was leading RROS in Lagos State? Well, he has an award as the best police officer. You understand? And he has led he has led police teams to for international missions in some African countries too. So looking at all of this, his engagement, a man who have grown through the ranks of over 30 years in police and have shown capacity in the different responsibilities, I think he will do very well as Inspector General.
What and the forthcoming 2027 elections, what do you think would be likely be the requirement or the demands of electorates from his leadership regarding the forthcoming 2027 elections and the spate of insecurity that has been bedeviled the society in recent times?
Well, from the little I know about Tunji, I can trust his capacity to providing security for electorates during the 2027 elections.
Okay.
You understand? The only thing we need is cooperation of the ordinary citizens of the Republic of Nigeria. That is the only thing we need. It is cooperation. The problem here is that Nigerians, we only focus on our rights. We forget that in every right we have some responsibility. You understand? Okay. Security is every man's business. So why we are expecting government to, bring the best security architects to safeguard us, we need to do our own best. Community policing, partnership-based engagement in policing, all of these things. I know Tunji was when he was commissioner in River State. He came up with that kind of policy. You understand? Okay. So things like this can, if we engage in all of these things and the ordinary people cooperate, I think we have no cause for alarm when it comes to security issues. As far as Tunji is
right. Thank you for that story.
Thank
you. So next, the federal government has come under criticism as foreign exchange outflow for health-related travel by Nigerians surged to $549.29 million in the first 9 months of 2025. 17.96% increase from $456.67 million in the same period of 2024. Analysts and health experts slammed the government for failing to curb medical tourism despite repeated pledges to improve local healthcare infrastructure and reduce dependence on treatment abroad. The foreign exchange refers to the personal allowance an individual can obtain from the Central Bank of Nigeria for medical travel abroad. While the CBN tracks the FX outflow, it does not monitor how the money is spent. Analysis of the CBN quarterly statistical bulletin for third quarter 2025 shows sustained growth in medical-related travel expenses. Nigerians spent $151.53 million in first quarter 2025, $189.41 million in second quarter, and $208.35 million in third quarter, bringing the 9-month total to $549.29 million. By comparison, the same period in 2024 recorded $142.95 million, $153.7 million, and $169.4 million respectively. Despite promises to reverse medical tourism, the figures indicate limited progress. In August 2023, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Bate, pledged to prioritize health security and reduce outward medical travel. With federal government slammed as such, let me ask, have you visited primary health care recently?
Recently.
What was the state of affairs in such establishment?
In River State here.
Anywhere, wherever you attended?
I think it's one in my village, and the River State government. We know the state of the primary health care already, but the River State government is doing our best to see that the other at least have access. But I know that it's too bad.
Medical allowance for 2025 surged to $550 million. Now, imagine such revenue being put into ensuring that our health systems, our health sector is revamped and revitalized. Don't you think that would be better than we continually being in that state where whenever you want to go for a proper medical checkup, it has to be traveling out of the country?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Because it is still part of government responsibility to provide sound health care and accessible one for the ordinary Nigerian citizens. Yeah, I agree with you. If those funds are put in here,
me also give you a point to the fact that the amount of money that is allocated to health bill in for the year is a huge one. Okay. But we found out that the result is not in tandem with the amount that was slotted for the medical field. Why do we still have such instances?
Why can I mention bad eggs in the system?
Okay.
You remove that. They are mixed to things for the city. Once sometimes our people encourage these things too. It's a pity. It's a pity. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation.
All right. On to the last story for today. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai has approached the Federal High Court in Abuja to stop the criminal case filed against him by the Department of State Services, DSS. He is asking the court to dismiss the charges and award him 2 billion naira in compensation. The application is in respect of charge number FHC/BJ/CRO/99/2026, which is pending before the Federal High Court. The matter is scheduled for hearing on February 25, 2024, before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik. In his motion, El-Rufai urged the court to quash or strike out the charge dated February 16, 2026. He argued that the charge discloses no offense known to law and amounts to an abuse of court process. He also asked the court to discharge him on the grounds that no prima facie case was established against him. The former governor further demanded 2 billion naira in costs against the DSS. There's been back and forth movement on this El-Rufai and the DSS's case. Let me get your thoughts before we delve into other questions for discussion.
Yeah, the El-Rufai is a figure, unfortunately crying out. That is what we tell people. That is why we say that self in government, you see, I can better. You understand? And most of these cries are not from the fact that he had been in government. The government of he doesn't see always have security that is what I can
from the standpoint of politics.
It is in his politics, with them also getting the part of it,
Okay.
You're taking your share. You allow other people. You understand? That why is it that it's only when they are not in government that they begin to see things wrong in government? Realize they have had opportunities. He has been a governor for 8 years. He has been a minister of the FCT. You understand?
Yeah.
So what changes did he make? Those times, was he having issues with security agencies? No. You understand? And he wouldn't have begin to be involved with a case of tracking the telephone call, right?
Yeah.
Of the National Security Advisor. You understand? So, you see, when it comes to issues of politicians like this, individual politicians, especially when they're not in government, personally, I think Nigerians shouldn't bother themselves about those things. Nigerians should bother themselves about the government of the day to see how they can, benefit. Because the problem with Nigeria, with the Nigerian system, that people should be the ordinary people should be concerned about benefit from the dividends of the government of the day. And they should not be interested in how, one man who has always been in government you start about it. You should face whatever case he has. If the court favors him, no problem.
Okay,
you know.
Thank you for your opinion on the story. And this is wrap it up on this episode of Blowout. I want to thank Mr. Anthony Wope for joining me this. Uche Nawobe for joining me this morning. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here, sir.
And don't forget to be open for ad placements, new bookings and commercials. You can connect with us on all our 18 socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. And don't forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Open conversation comes up shortly. Don't go away. Thank you for watching. I am Favor Chikwese Michael.
The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 anniversary celebration. Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Market. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time, 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofadi, 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the world. Stay focused on